The Death of Slim Shady by Eminem album review. It's an okay project for me. Like I said in one of my recent videos of Eminem's style and his content, I don't really connect with it, right? But objectively, I could listen to Eminem as an MC, as a lyricist, and give him his props. He's amazing, you know. But I feel like this is an okay project. Won't be getting a whole lot of spins, after my listening experience from this, but it's okay. First, I'm gonna go into details about the things I like about this album, and then I'll go into detail about the things I didn't like about this album. First things first, the transitions from song to song. Eminem, his mixers and producers and engineers did an amazing job with the transitions. Like my first couple listens, I didn't even know from Renaissance to Happens. I thought that was the same song until I looked at my phone and I was like, oh shit, it's a whole nother song. And it flowed that way throughout the whole album. It didn't feel like, okay, one song could play and then stop and then another song come on. It felt like a natural flow. Number two, of course, Eminem's rapping. Now, content and subject wise, I'm gonna get into that later. But as far as bars and punchlines, Eminem is a punchline god. Of course, we all know that. But just listening to this album, because I don't listen to Eminem a whole lot, but listening to this album, it reminds me like, damn, he's a fucking punchline god. When I think of punchline guys, I think of Wayne, even somebody like Fabulous or something like that, right? But M is he's at the top when it comes to that shit. And even how the way he bends words, his flow and cadence. I can't see too many people doing that shit. I can't see too many people keeping up with him whenever he gets into certain pockets and shit. It's just like, man, he's even at this age, like he not even in his prime anymore, but he still has it in him. You know what I'm saying? That was one of my favorite things about this album. And thirdly, the direction he went in with this album. It felt very nostalgic, like the way it sounded, the way he was rapping. Now, of course, with the whole theme of this album, of course, he's gonna go back and revisit, that style and that era of Eminem, right? But I thought that was because some of the recent albums and shit, I'm just like, I can't really get with this, but I could listen to this. You know what I'm saying? It felt very variable, and like I said, it felt very nostalgic. Content, subject matter. Now, with the intentions of this album, it made sense why he was doing what he was doing. Like a lot of the stuff Slim Shady used to say was very controversial. If he was to say that shit today, he'd be fucking canceled, right? And then also like him doing it again to cancel Slim Shady. You know what I'm saying? Like I get why he's doing what he's doing, but I cannot connect with it. Like putting that shit on in the car and riding to the shit he's saying. Like all the Bruce slash Caitlyn Jenner bars in here. It's just like, man, he had a whole bunch of them motherfuckers. It's like you infatuated with Caitlyn Jenner, bro. Like shit. This bar right here too. Like I'm like a RAPER. I got some in the essays. Wait, did he just spell the word rapper and leave out the P? This is a dope ass bar. Not gonna lie. That's a fire ass bar. But it's just like I can't put this shit in the car and just what I'm saying. I can maybe if I'm in the mood for some super barred up shit, I can fuck with it, but nah. The second thing I didn't like about this album, or I wouldn't say I didn't like, but the production didn't really grab me. If you go to some of my old videos whenever I'm reviewing music or just talk about music in general, you know that I'm huge on production. If the production doesn't grab me, I'm not gonna connect with the music as much, right? And that's gonna play into my replay value with the songs also. And me saying that might be a little contradicting to what I was saying earlier about me liking him going back to this nostalgic sound. But that's one of the things why I could never connect with Eminem on that level, because I feel like his production was cool, but it was never great. I feel like it's just more of just him focusing on the rapping. But I'm big on production though. The last thing I didn't like about this album was the storyline. Now, I appreciated the theme and what he's intended to do, right? And right before the album was released, he explained like, "Hey, listen to the album from the first song, and they let it play all the way out, so you can get the storyline." But I never really got it like that. You know, I knew his intentions, but as far as the lyrics, it wasn't like I couldn't really track what was going on. Maybe I need to go listen to it some more. But that was one of the things that kind of took me for a loop because I was expecting more of a story, and I know there was a story there, especially when you listen to like the interludes throughout the album and stuff like that. But I don't know. I didn't really catch on to it as much. But some of my favorite tracks from this album is Brand New Dance, Lucifer, Antichrist, and Fuel. Fuel is the best song on here for me personally. And JID, man, you snapped on this motherfucker. Snapped. And this is a really great look for somebody like JID when you mentioning, the best MCs of today, for you to get on a track with Eminem and still hold your weight. I still feel like Eminem got him, but JID snapped on that motherfucker. I give this album a 6.5 out of 10. I know to some people that's too low, like, man, what the fuck? But replay value for me personally, I don't see myself going back to this so much, right? Now, I will give it propers for what it stands for what Eminem is doing, especially his rapping ability. But I think it's a okay album. If somebody is playing this shit, I'll listen to it. If they playing in the background or whatever. But I won't be spending it so much.